The tragic building collapse in Ormonde, Johannesburg, which claimed the lives of 9 people after a warehouse structure gave way, has prompted urgent investigations into compliance, safety standards and accountability. Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour, Jomo Sibiya, has warned that those who disregarded laws in the construction of that building will face consequences. Yesterday, authorities assessed the structural integrity of the remains. And for more, we are joined by the Deputy Minister, Jomo Sibiya. Deputy Minister, thank you very, very much for joining us. We do appreciate your time. So if we look at specific occupational health and safety violations or non-compliances, has your departmental inspection team identified so far, which one of these issues have they identified so far at the site?
Leanne, good morning to you and the viewers of Morning Live. I can safely say that it's unfortunate that again you are discussing and engaging on such an unfortunate situation that happened in Ormonde 2 days back. We went there yesterday, and I can say to you that what we saw there, will break your heart. And some of the things that you see, you can just tell that some of the incidents can be preventable. We are coming from the George incident that happened in 2024. Last year, we had a temple in Veralem and another one in another building in Chongat. So it's becoming a big issue of disregard of occupational health and safety laws by some contractors who are trying by all means to gain more money and make profit out of the lives of our people. So I can say to you, with the engagement that we had with the mayor of the city of Johannesburg yesterday, starting from the city has just identified one issue, which is part of what constructors should be doing to give the municipality approved plans for any building that they are going to construct. That was never done. So it means even the city was not aware that there is this construction site that is in place. There is work that is being done on that site, which is the disregard of the law, municipal bylaws. And then further to that, the site was in the hands of the city of Johannesburg up until yesterday during the day, up until they retrieved the last 9th body, unfortunately. And then they handed it over to the SAPS, and SAPS now is going to hand it over to us as the Department of Employment and Labour and do a detailed investigation to identify what exactly happened and who didn't do what was the cause of this collapse. So now, once the site is handed over to us, we are going to tell you what exactly has been disregarded, what was not done. We are going to establish whether they are having a valid construction permit with us or not, the kind of material that was used, working with other sister departments like Public Works and the city. But we are the lead department when it comes to occupational health and safety. But in general, many companies disregard the OHS regulations in general. They disregard the safety of workers. They disregard what they should be doing in terms of doing construction work.
And this is a huge problem. And dare we say that this one has just been found out because of the tragedy that has happened. And yet many people speak to the fact that there is so much lack of compliance, where there is, in many buildings and many different buildings where, building plans have not been approved. There's proximity to infrastructure like power lines. And this is what's been noted by the city of Johannesburg in this one. How do they get away with this? How is it possible that, we are talking about the death of 9 people when this is a blatant disregard for the rule of law?
When we arrived there ourselves at the department yesterday, we found out that this construction is taking place under heavy current power lines, pylons, and it's not supposed to be taking place, and there is no construction that must take place under the power lines. We just took a decision that we are going to prohibit indefinitely, and we are going to make sure that nothing continues there. As the city as well, they identified it. We agreed with them that that's what is going to happen. The reality is that we need to up our game. We must admit that there are gaps. the number of inspectors that we have is not enough for us to be everywhere. We have only 2,300 inspectors in the country, and these inspectors are not only focusing on construction sites or on OHS, but they are focusing on a number of other areas of discipline that we are dealing with, like UIF compensation fund, minimum wage, basic condition of employment act. They are specializing. So you can imagine that if they are specializing on all those disciplines, then it means you've got few for OHS as well. But with the announcement by the president during the State of the Nation address, it's going to give us a huge improvement, because if we get these 10,000 inspectors, we're going to have at least 12,300 inspectors. It's going to make a huge dent. It's going to make a huge impact, and we are going to reach as far as possible. We are going to visit a number of companies. We're going to be able, even after visiting a company, we can go back to that particular company to check whether are they still complying with our laws, or the moment we turned our back and went to do some work in other companies, then they changed and do wrong things. So it's going to help us quite a great deal, because even the city admits that they do have a challenge when it comes to inspection, to inspectors. But the mayor made it clear that already they are in a process to recruit more inspectors. That's what we need to do, all of us collaborating. Last week we were in Uhuleni, where we're doing the inspection and enforcement work into big construction sites that are happening there. In one of the construction sites, doing a government building, a social housing project, we found that they are using a fraudulent construction permit. Imagine working with government, you are constructing a social housing project, but you still have guards, you are gullible, you are using a fraudulent permit, and we had to close it down. So it's an issue of the disregard of law. It's the arrogance of some business owners whom are in construction sector, and it shows that people have developed a culture of non-compliance in our country, and we need to deal with that indefinitely.
It certainly is a big issue. Sorry, Deputy Minister, it is Leanne you're speaking to. Just as a correction, I know it's people get it wrong. No problem at all. No problem. But given that this is a construction site under the department's oversight for worker safety, I mean, what role? And I know you're speaking to labour inspectors, but what role did labour inspectors actually play prior to the collapse? And one needs to ask, there are dead people. What immediate enforcement actions is the department taking against those responsible parties?
Our inspectors try by all means to do their work and visit different construction sites and businesses and do all they can. But as I've said earlier on, we have to admit that we don't have enough numbers to be everywhere. But further to that, on this site, like in George, they never gave us, probably they don't have a permit, a construction permit, because they can't have a construction permit if they haven't submitted as well to the municipality. So it's a site that they started construction without us knowing even that there is work that is being done there. And it becomes difficult to notice such, especially because it's done in corners. That construction is taking place not in an area where everybody passes by every day. It's in a secluded area that you can't see it if you don't work in that area. So that is a big challenge. But I can assure the South African citizens that our investigation is going to give us the information that we need. If we found that somebody didn't do what he was supposed to do, I can assure you there will be consequences. Somebody will take responsibility. Right now in George, I know some don't know, we have taken them for prosecution. We've opened a case. Our investigation was concluded last year late. We took the matter to NPA for prosecution late last year. So we are going to leave no stone unturned. We can't lose 9 lives and then nothing happens. The business owners, the construction companies, they must face the consequences.
Have you contacted the construction company? Have you gotten hold of them? Have you tracked them down at all?
We know the name of the companies, all of them, but we haven't. We only spoke to one subcontractor. But the main contractor, we haven't spoken to them. The business owner, we haven't spoken to them. They never arrived. Yesterday, we even spoke to the families, and we managed to speak to them and assured them that we are going to assist them when it comes to issues of social security, like compensation fund, because they are registered with compensation fund and FEM, because we are trying to make sure that even when they bury their loved ones, they don't feel the burden by themselves. The president already have spoken on the matter, and we are working very hard to assist the families. But the employers, in fact, the companies, the three companies, they have to show and take responsibility of what has happened, and they must come forward and make sure that they take that responsibility.
So as it stands right now, you have not spoken to them. You know who they are, but you haven't spoken to them. So what are you waiting for? What's the problem? No, it's Leanne. What is the problem? Why is it that you haven't spoken to them?
Leanne, it's because our investigation as the department is going to start once SAPS hand over the site to us.
And SAPS haven't contacted them? So they haven't actually spoken to them as yet?
I can't speak on behalf of SAPS, but I know there's a lot of work that SAPS was doing even yesterday. There were statements that were taken, there's work that is being done, but I can't confirm that, Leanne, I can assure you. But on our side, once we start our investigation, which I know it's going to be very soon, it might be tomorrow, because SAPS must conclude with its work, or it might be late this week, then we start our work. The site is protected, it's cordoned off, nobody can tamper with whatever that is inside there. We went to see what happened. There are a lot of issues that came out there. It's just that because we might take this matter for prosecution, we must be very careful of what we say and what we do, so that if we open the case and they are prosecuted, we don't jeopardize that case and we lose it. We want to make sure that we see it to the end, and people face the consequences.
All right, we'll leave it there. That's the Deputy Minister, Jomo Sibiya, is, of course, with the Employment and Labour Department, speaking about that tragic building collapse. 9 people have died due to this, and reports just saying that this is a construction site that certainly should never, ever have been under construction. They didn't have plans, the correct plans. There's non-compliance. There are many issues that are at play here, and we'll certainly keep following this story and catch up with them once they take over this investigation.